What's up everybody, Chris here with Salty Island, and it has been a minute since I have done a video update, so I just wanted to give a little quick shout out to everyone. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel and thanks for sticking around. Today what I wanted to do is do a follow-up to the first video, which was the Horus Heresy kind of mini blog that we're doing, and I am showing you what I've been up to over the past month. For those of you who know, I'm not the greatest painter or the fastest painter, but sometimes I really get in the mood to paint, and that kind of happened in the month of June and July, and there was also some holidays, so I was busy and out of town those days, but the rest of the time I really got excited with painting of Horus Heresy, and here's kind of what happened from it. So in the last video we talked about my previous army, which is Alpha Legion, and as you can see here on camera right now, the current army and the new army for 2nd edition I'm doing is going to be Word Bearers. And this is the first model that I got, so Salty Shy and I rode down to California. Shout outs to the people over at the Warhammer Cafe in California. Hella cool people. If you ever get the chance to go, I recommend just going for the sake of the experience. They're incredibly nice. The store is a really cool place. It's more than just a store. It's got like a drink place there. It's got spaces for game demos. It's like a game shop on crack, essentially. It's pretty amazing. And the people who work there are incredibly nice and really fun to talk to, so I highly recommend checking it out. With that said, I went ahead and I put quite a bit of time. I wanted to paint this, so this was all hand painted. I opted not to airbrush on this one, and because it's Horus Heresy, my thought process behind it was that the Horus Heresy is to the car show like 40K is to a drag race. I wanted to paint the model as nice as my current skill would possibly allow, and there's definitely people who can paint nicer, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. I put way more time than I probably should into just a single model, but also I'm not rushing to get a Horus Heresy army on the tabletop. I really just want to make an army for display, and depending on how far along I get in this year, I'd like to make maybe like an armies on parade kind of a display. And this is the first army here that we've got. So it is Best Dad himself, Kor Phaeron, and here, as you can see, I'm really happy. He is painted in the original traditional colors of the Word Bearers, or otherwise known as the Imperial Heralds before the finding of Lorgar. He's got the gray color scheme with gold trim for himself. And then he's got the, as you can see on the left shoulder coming around here, he's got the original icon of the Imperial Heralds and the pre-heresy icon for the Word Bearers, the open book with the flame. Alright, and also to give everyone a bit of a sneak peek as to what I am painting up next, I have started on this Demos pattern Rhino. Obviously, same matching colors. Now I do know that not necessarily with the Word Bearers do you get this gray color, and so part of the narrative that I wanted to, I guess, portray with my army is this force represents the Word Bearers right after the destruction of Monarchia. So they got censored by the Emperor for their jank-ass Emperor worshipping ways, and the Ultramarines are dicks. They destroyed the perfect city, and this is before the Serrated Suns venture into the Eye of Terror. This is before the true full fall to chaos, but they have definitely lost faith in the Emperor at this point. And they're kind of like in that weird lost kind of a zone. And I really want to represent that in that they look like loyalists, but they're not. And obviously if I play a game, they're not loyalists. They're definitely traitor. They're the first traitors, and obviously people like Kor Phaeron, they've always been worshippers of chaos, but not everyone. And so this kind of represents the army in that time period. It's the first fall of that basically kicks off the Horus Heresy. And I thought that whole story of the fall and just how they felt lost and how they kind of found chaos was a really interesting kind of narrative. And so this Rhino obviously represents that. Currently missing the side doors and the back hatch because I am going to get some with the Imperial Heralds the book with the flame logos on it and the chapter symbol, and I want to do some fancy things on the back door. I did get a little bit of paint on the inside. The shadows kind of obscure that a little bit, but interior is painted on the Rhino. I think I'm going to go with the multi-melta. Again, part of the Imperial Heralds was the iconoclast and the Ashen Circle, and just how they like to they tear down the icons of the other societies that they find. And so I feel like a multi-melta would be the most appropriate for the vehicle on that one. You know, like even after it deploys its troops, the multi-melta can still blast some churches and destroy some statues and things like that. So that's a pretty good one on that. And then lastly, you see here, I went with Mark III armor. This is the test model for the rank and file of the Legion, and I painted him to match Kor Phaeron in the gray. He's got the one black shoulder pad that's trimmed with the brashes kind of gold. And then on the left shoulder pad, shout outs to Pop Goes the Weasel. I sent over some shoulder pads with the book with the open flame symbol. I ordered about 30 of those, so that was great. And they're super clean. I didn't have to do basically anything to clean them up. They fit right onto the shoulder. The detail is super crisp, so that I highly recommend checking them out. They're on Shapeways. I am probably also going to order, they have just some standalone icons of the book with the flame on it. I'm going to probably order some of those so that I can get it on top of the Rhino. And then I don't know what I'm going to do about like some art on there. I know there's decals that have like the kind of the scripture writing, but I have to see if I can find and get my hands on some of that. But here's a image of or not image, but my test painted model. Don't have the backpacks. I am not sure visually. I cannot find my Mark III backpacks. I don't know what happened to them. I found all the Mark III Marines and the Mark III bits, and I don't know what happened to the Mark III backpack. I might go with the Mark IV backpack. I think it looks pretty cool on top of the Mark III armor. Again, the time of the fall of Monarchia is kind of in that transition period. Mark III is still in use by a lot of legions, but Mark IV is also out. But it's not quite to the point where, you know, they're in the heresy in Mark V or Mark VI. So it's not really matching of the theme that I have. Did also want a quick shout out. The bases are done by Gamergrass. They're a little annoying to get here in Vegas. I just can't get them shipped here for some reason. Hopefully I can get a hold of some more of them though. I've got enough for the 10-man squad, and obviously I got the base for Kor Phaeron himself. And lastly, the newest release that just came out, Leviathan Dreadnought, close combat style, 2 siege claws. Love the model. Super happy that it came out in plastic. Actually, really happy that it also came out under the $100. I know that's a little bit on crack for me to say out loud, that it's only under $100, but I mean, GW has brainwashed me at this point to think that that's a good price, so here we are. I have one. I'm going to be getting this painted up in the same colors also, with the gray and then the brass gold trim. And then I don't have a base for this, so I'm going to have to try and see if I can get one from Gamergrass. And I will hopefully again be getting some of the icons from Pop Goes the Weasel, so that I can kind of add it to my Leviathan to kind of make it stand out more like a Word Bearer's Leviathan. So I'm pretty excited to get that painted up for you guys. But this is a quick update as to the Heresy blog and my progress, kind of what I've been up to. I've painted quite a few other things, some 40k, and I've painted some Age of Sigmar, and I've just been in a really painting mood. And you know how it is, when you're in the mood to paint, you just gotta paint. You just gotta paint as much as you can until you're sick of painting, and then you can move on to other aspects of the hobby. So unfortunately, making videos has taken a back seat to that, but I have a lot of new painted things for you guys, so as things come around, I'm gonna get them on camera. Did also want to make a couple of comments on videos. Currently, there's a lot that's been going on with 40k, and we here at Salty Island have kind of decided to take a bit of a break from 40k. There's been a lot of changes. We play a lot of different armies, and we're not sure how it's going to affect each of the army and learning of the rules. And it's kind of making playing games a bit slow and a bit tedious. And when you add that on top of the process of making a video, because I don't have a video editor, I edit the videos myself and I film the videos myself, it became a bit much. So the current plan is we are taking a break from 40K. We're not abandoning 40K. We obviously have way too much 40K to do that. But from now, basically through the end of the year, we're kind of going to take a step back, look at some other games. And then in the new year, when I believe there's been rough talk of either a kind of a reset, a soft reset of the current edition of 40K, or hopefully talks of maybe going into 10th edition of 40K, which I personally would like to see a 10th edition. Then, we'll obviously be revisiting it at that time. In the meantime, we've got other things. There's a new edition of Warcry. We love Age of Sigmar here. We've got a lot of models, and I actually have actual Warcry warbands, so that might be a thing that we'll be getting into. We've been looking at Marvel Crisis Protocol. I think we've talked about it lightly on the channel. We're pretty hyped for that. There is Kill Team. Again, lots of 40K. We can be using that models for Kill Team, but we've got lots of things that we're doing. It's just really a matter of, getting the camera out, and then more importantly, getting video editing. So appreciate it though. Like videos like this where I can just kind of talk to all of you is pretty easy and able for us to get some content out there. So thank you very much everybody for sticking around and checking out the channel. Next time we come back, we will be, hopefully I'll be showing you more of an update with the army and where I'm looking to build the army, and then talk about some of the narrative that I have in my head about the army, kind of like as it's developing and where my unit choices are kind of coming in. So thanks again everyone for checking us out. Appreciate it. If you guys are playing Horus Heresy and you also are of the mindset that Heresy is basically the car show and you've been painting up some car show level models, hit me up, let me know. I want to see the work that you're doing. Check out Ash on GMG Games. His Repentance campaign on Facebook, he's got a group, and everyone there has been taking it up a notch. Some beautifully painted armies, some beautifully painted miniatures. It's really great to see, and we can all be embarrassed together that GW has tricked us into buying mini marines yet again. So if you're here on the mini marine train, welcome aboard. Glad that you have you here. Thanks for checking us out, and most importantly, everybody, peace out.